best. So let us begin with the presentation. We will have a short question answers roundup once we are done with all the slides. So you can shoot in all your queries and concerns, and hopefully I should be able to answer your queries. So not taking up much of your time, this is basically a awareness program that we're running every Thursday with different topics. I would request you to visit www.cyberoam.com and /webinars.html page. You will be able to see upcoming webinars. We have alternate programs wherein one Thursday we have webinar on any topic, and on the following Thursday we basically have a tech talk program wherein we show configuration related challenges, or how do you configure certain different features on Cyberoam. So this gives an idea on how to configure Cyberoam with different kinds of feature sets which are available onto the system. So in today's webinar, we're going to talk about the network analysis and visibility. The agenda would be to understand the lack of analysis and visibility in enterprise networks, and following after that, we would also understand the need of the hour, what are the requirements and what is it required at this stage in the enterprise segment, and how Cyberoam helps in enhancing security with network visibility and control. So let us have a look onto the typical enterprise network these days. With enterprise, there's a head office which is connected back to their different branch offices located in dispersed geographic locations, and there are the business of the organization. There are suppliers, there are vendors, there are customers, there are internal employees, there are sales, there are customer support, there are employees who are having smartphones, and there is a network operating system. There is a data center in any organization, enterprise data organization, where is a data center with database servers. It has a communication server which takes care of your VoIP and video conferencing related activities. There is a web server, and then there is also a terminal server. These are typical different kinds of servers in an organization. And there are people traveling outside your office network, wants to connect back, sales staff, or especially sales guys, making cold calls with the end users, and they want to check back with team regarding some kind of accounting related issues, invoicing. There are certain price list sharing and all the stuff which they're required to connect back to the office network using any media to access those files. So this is a typical enterprise scenario we have during these days. So let us understand the visibility, the lack of visibility in these networks. We have a short statistics onto this slide where we can see that in the year 2011, most of the attacks were majorly from the external users, which comprises of 98%, where there are certain types of attacks which were found in the 2011 was 4% goes to internal users, and then there are trusted users called partners, your vendors, your customers who connect back and also access the resource. But that percentile is very less as compared to the internal users as well as your outside internet users. In the year 2012, there was a significant rise in the threats which were arised, and because of the internal users, which goes up from the 4%, it rises up to the 14%. There's a hike of 10% growth in the types of attacks which were being generated, or the victims were internal users as compared to the attackers from the external side. So the security features protects against malicious insiders, real-time visibility and network analysis against the careless insiders. So let us see on the following slide the numbers as compared to how these attacks took, the administrators took what kind of time duration to get over or to recover from such attacks. So what are the different types of attacks? In 2011, as we see on the slide, there were attacks which were caused by malwares, hacking, and social medias, misuse of any kind of applications, physical kind of attacks, errors, and environmental, as compared to 2012, when you see that the graph goes more beyond the 40% is in malware, whereas physical has gone up to 35% as compared to 2011. So this latest security features have optimized security, but the lack of visibility into the real-time activities is leading towards increasing in social engineering, misuse by authorized users, etc., etc. So the need of network analysis and visibility would be at this juncture, or at this point, would be to plan, to perform, to do activities, to check, and to act. In the planning segment, one would identify security requirements and create security policies. Once the security policies are created, enforce security policies onto the network users and generate reports for network activities. Now this is what your security vendors will help you with, to plan and to take action. Now the remaining two tasks of check, to analyze network activities, identify any security compliance gaps, detect any incident, and once you check all these parameters, to act on these parameters, like to resolve security gaps, to tune security policies and controls, your security vendor will be not very helpful in projecting all these aspects. So security vendors can help you to plan and to do. You are responsible for checking security performance and acting to improve security effectiveness. The challenge of visibility with security appliances is that traffic through ports, like there is no application intelligence to gain visibility or which applications are being used, like port HTTP. 40% of traffic going out with port HTTP, POP3 10%, SSL is 20%, SMTP 30%. Now, if you have a look onto this pie chart or onto this presentation slide, hardly you would be able to identify there are different applications apart from the standard protocols and ports which are being used in day-to-day activities. So thereby, to gain this visibility, such security appliances always had the challenges to provide such kind of visibility. The recent survey, there's a time span of the events. It took almost 66% of the survey, the 66% of the organizational administrators. It took a month or more to discover different kinds of attacks, like containment. To discovery, it took almost it took months to discover any kind of attack into the network. And the exfiltration also, it took over hours to understand those exfiltration, and the financial losses, almost it took months to understand what was the financial loss against such kind of attacks. So hours to penetrate and months to discover such kind of attacks into the organization with this typical security appliances. So that calls the need of an hour to analyze network traffic and activities, as well as to analyze the activities for risk level to identify performance of existing security measures against changing risk levels, to identify and verify if any security incident occurred, and proactively prevention to stay ahead of threats. So these are the network activities which one have to take care into their organization, as well as in correlation with the network activities. Centralized logging and reporting of network activities has become very essential. Lack of report correlation for network forensics was also one of the drawbacks which one has to come along with in terms of not being able to correlate any activities into the network. Ability to identify attackers in real time with comprehensive logs, and staying in line with the compliance and avoiding the legal risk which one as an organization has to incur in terms of such attacks. So it calls the need for a solution that offers a system intelligence which enables network analysis and visibility. So with the solution, we have Cyberoam, which is enhancing security with visibility and control, whereby the 4 parameters of plan, do, check, and act, you create in the planning segment, you create granular security policies for application, web filtering, VPN, intrusion prevention, and malware protection. So once you have everything planned accordingly, you bind security policies with users or user groups, applications or web categories, time, bandwidth, and then once you plan, once you bind, then you constantly monitor, analyze real-time application risk level of the network, real-time traffic discovery, user-based and application reports, single-click compliance reports. By having a check on those things, you get to know what's going on into your network, and thereby to take an action, you create a customized web categories, IPS signatures to optimize security, to apply user or user group security policies, analyzing usage behavior. So basically, you need a solution which gives you all this information, and with Cyberoam security, enhanced security, visibility, and control, one is able to get all these functions clear onto their network. So Cyberoam, a complete security solution with security intelligence and intelligence enhancing network visibility and control. So let's understand how Cyberoam helps in analyzing security of the network. In the following slide, you have a look onto the reports. One of the interesting features with Cyberoam, which has a traffic dashboard where you see top applications, top categories. The applications are classified into different categories so that it is easy for an administrator to evaluate the traffic on the basis of an application of the category, and not identify what category that application is classified into. And further drill down, you get information on the traffic dashboard on the users, what kind of data transfer is done by users, and as well as users are basically, you identify the users with their name rather than by IP address. But in the event if they were not implemented identity management, then you still have the reports based on the IP address. So further down, you see the traffic being passed by the top firewall rules, as well as what domains the traffic is moving on to. Also, as you see over here, this is very interesting, where you see the top file upload, that is basically a file uploader over here in your organization. Anybody in the organization uploading any data to internet, so you can easily catch hold of those activities and take corrective actions. Then the following slide has a security dashboard. Now, traffic dashboard gives you an idea of what kind of traffic is moving in and out of your network, where the security dashboard gives an alarm to the administrator by notifying the administrator on the security aspects where you find the information of top denied hosts, top denied users, the users are trying to access certain resources and they were denied access as per the security policies which are implemented onto those users. Top denied applications based on destination countries, top denied categories, denied domains, and top attacks. So this gives a clear idea on to what kind of traffic the users are trying to access, and your security appliance has been able to successfully block that traffic for the users to be able to access, and thereby providing a secure infrastructure into your network. Cyberoam also helps more with the proactive alerts to identify any attack which is going on, like there's on the dashboard of the GUI. When you log on to Cyberoam's web admin console, you would be able to see similar kind of dashboard on the IPS alerts, where you see source and destination IP address signature. You can see in the first column it is Apache HTTP server kind of signature, which is severity of major, and the action as detected as per the IPS policies which are configured by the administrator. However, administrator can set those policies to drop or to bypass the session as in how it is required into the organization. Also, Cyberoam helps to analyze application risk level of the network. Application risk level meaning they can identify what is the risk that is your network is carrying on at this stage, depending on the traffic which is moving out from your network. So on this slide, you can see that there are different risk parameters, risk levels, which are assigned to different applications depending on the characteristics of those applications. You see the network over here is at risk of 1.8 out of 5, which is moderately but higher side as at a risk. This gives an alarm to the administrator to review the security policies and to check the logs again and tighten up the security loopholes which have been missed, which has caused the risk meter to go to 1.83. Identify users behind risky applications. Not only identifying the applications, also Cyberoam will help you to identify the users who have been using these applications. So as you see on the screen, there is application torrent clients, and these are the users who have accessed this application, and also suggest what kind of data transfer has been done using this application. Not only that, you get the zero trust logging and reporting for all the users. That means that the network security appliance don't even trust the internal users and put them into zero trust identification, and have for an administrator reporting in based off a username, which gives you what all activities have been carried or performed by that particular user in terms of websites classified into different categories being browsed or being accessed by the user, top files which are uploaded, and top files which are downloaded by the user, as well as certain categories which are denied to that particular user. So this keeps complete track of user activities with correlated and centralized reporting. It keeps watch on any possible data leakage and possible way of data leakage as well. Real-time traffic discovery helps insight. It's a real-time insight into traffic pattern and user behavior, whereby you can have application-based traffic discovery. You can, on the screen, you can see that there are different applications which are being accessed by the user, as well as the traffic discovery shows upload, download, data transfer, as well as what is the bandwidth which is being consumed and how many number of connections are being used by that applications. Further, when you click on the number of connections hyperlink, the report which you will see onto the screen, it will display is it will show source and destination based IP address, protocols, and ports which are being used, and what data transfer is also being done during each sessions. So this gives a good broadened view for an administrator to identify what's going on onto the network and what precautionary measures or how to fine-tune the security policies so that the network infrastructure remains clean and security protected. So also restricts access to high-risk applications. One can create their own applications, application filter policy by just selecting the risk parameters and not by individually moving on and selecting the applications. So all the risky applications are classified into its own different categories. So administrator all has to do is to just restrict the high risk applications. Cyberoam also helps the user to create a customized web category. If you go past in the backs on the previous slides where you see that what actions one has to take once you are out of that phase of planning and implementation, and then check the parameters. Once you check the parameters, once you check the reports, once you are aware about the activities, and you create custom categories or custom implementation onto those users who are alarming and who are misusing the resources. So here on the screen you can see that this is one way to create a customized web category which will help you to increase employee productivity by restricting the access to unproductive websites being served by users regularly. Also helps you to create a customized IPS signature. You can see the IPS, there is a signature. Let me tell you that ours is the Cyberoam is the solution which provides you an access to upload your own custom signature depending on how you want to the database. So you can upload your signature based on the parameters, and you can take actions onto that accordingly. With its Cyberoam Security Center, auto-updated security intelligence, and dynamic threat monitoring and response, we have Cyberoam Security Center, which pushes all those antivirus, web categories, and IPS signatures time to time to the devices, thereby keeping your device up to date with latest trends and latest threat protections. And last but not the least, you have a single-click compliance reports, which helps you to comply by whenever there is any kind of security audit which you would like to perform into your network. So it has inbuilt different kinds of compliance reports like HIPAA, GLBA, SOX, PCI, FISMA. So administrator does not have to build a report kind of, or do have to work with many Excel files, but just to download this compliance reports and submit it. Thereby you get a good network visibility and control onto your network, and with the help of Cyberoam Security Appliance you can achieve the maximum security implementation into your network. So that's all from my side. Thank you very much, friends. And if you have, let us understand if you have any questions. I would be glad to answer. Any questions, guys? Thank you very much for your time. Please stay tuned. Next week also we are coming up with another Thursday, another webinar which should be interesting. Please find all those webinar details onto the cyberoam.com/webinars.html. Do join us, and thank you very much. Keep sending us your feedback on all the presentations, and if you have any suggestions, we would be surely wanting to implement and correct the same. Thank you very much for your time. Thanks so much.